Hello. I'm here, I think. Hello, Winter. Nice to have you here. But I'm here. Hopefully the music isn't, I wouldn't say too loud. It's just right. We're gonna be doing some art, like it says on the tin. I haven't actually opened up the file yet. I should probably get on that. I just need to keep that open. Okay. Oh my god, it's the Real Universe Traveler. Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. Breathe it in the flesh. Yeah. Today, doing art. Not gonna be too long of a stream, I don't think. because I've been feeling a little lightheaded. Probably because I haven't really eaten anything today. And I rolled out of bed at like 11 o'clock local time. You know, nothing new for nothing new really for me in this case. But you know, I don't really want to be staring at a screen for too long. Gotta, you know, stand up, walk around, look out at the wonderful snow that we've been getting. Thank you, climate change. And polar vortex for blasting us with your icy cold wind. And I got me some aloe vera drink and some water. So, kind of decided to just do this on a whim, basically, because I suddenly felt motivated to do art today. So I'm like, you know what? How about I just redraw some old, and I say old in quotes, some old art of my original characters, because I've kind of changed how I do most of my art stuff, and I kind of want to make them all consistent with how I do things now. And some of these aren't too old, like Ryota and Tenchi here were like last year in like June, I think it was, that I drew these two. I think it was like June, maybe July. Flash here was I did this little head model thing a long time ago, and I think Dusty was 2022, and Chris was a little while after that. So, you know, they range from new to old, but I'm just gonna redo them all and get them to fit within my style currently. Also, I went and I tinkered around. I actually made my own brushes based on some of the ones I like, and I made two out of my experimentations that I really liked. So I've got Thin and Scratch and Thick and Soft. Says on the tin it's a thin brush with some jaggies on it. It's meant to be like an inker that's got a lot of texture to it. And Big and Soft, it's just a big, like wide brush tip that's a bit softer around the edges, you know. If I want a texture that's not as scratchy and it's just softer, you know, again, like it says on the tin, I can use that for line art. And that's what I'm going to be using these two brushes for. So that's where we're at there. And I just wanted to show them off because I did use my Thin and Scratch for that AI redraw thing that I did like a night or two ago. And I really liked how it looked. I think it turned out really nice. And I'm satisfied with the results. So, thanks to my experimentation, I have a new inker brush that really is just a very prickly pencil. Maybe that's what I should call it. Maybe call it prickly pencil. I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyways, we're just going to start with. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Let's start with good old Universe Traveler Prime here. And the thing I want to do with this file, Character Redo Project Group A, is I'm starting with all of like the main protagonist characters of all the projects I'm working on, and just gonna make like a size guide, and then I'm going to do all of them all at once. So unlike that one file that I've kind of showed off that's just got a bunch of heads all in it, you know, all lined up, I want to actually do full body poses and stuff like that. So that way I actually have something to go off of instead of just heads. So that's what we're going to do. Anyways, eat my drawing glove. Oh, I haven't eaten either. It's almost 10 p.m. Good grief. Get yourself some food. Get some grub. Yeah, open those hoods. Ooh, I like those. Yeah, I think they're really nice. It's really... I used a tutorial by Sunako, Sunako, on YouTube. I have a few of their brushes as well. They're loaded somewhere in here. They're right here. I have these brushes, pretty nice. And I used their tutorial for how to make brushes based off of like things you draw. I say things you draw by images. You can make brushes based on images. So I can literally make a brush off of this. But I followed that tutorial, and I looked at the tips that this pencil has, and I looked at what it was about the tip and all the settings in it, and I copied it, and then I put in a tip that I wanted to use. So, because I basically analyzed it and was like, okay, what is it about this one brush that has the effect that I like? And I was like, I like the textured edge, and I like the fact that I can go over a line multiple times, chicken scratch style, and I can just go over it multiple times, and you know, it still looks nice. But I wanted it to be thicker, and I wanted it to lay down color lay it at a thicker opacity, so just make it opaque. So I went in and I basically just duplicated the 6B pencil, which is what I use for most of my sketching, and I just went in and I futzed around with the settings, and I kind of did my best to copy the shape of the 6B pencil with some... I don't really think I did my best to like actually replicate it because it's a bit thinner, but because I made it so thin with a radial gradient around it, it gave it this thin look that I really like. So it had the unintended side effect of actually looking really nice and giving me something that I didn't know I needed and or wanted. So, and thick and soft. And thick and soft is a bit different. The gradient is, there's less of a gradient, and the solid shape is bigger, which gives it the thicker, more soft look. So, and I basically duplicated 6B and plugged in a different brush tip into the like stroke settings that's already set in there. And I think I also tweaked the gap, so that way, you know, when you draw a line, it changes the interval for, you know, when it basically lays down the brush tip, so it changes how often it does it, which gives it this look. So, the joy of digital art, getting to make your own brushes. So, all right, we're gonna get into this now. This folder, put this in there. And this is going to be new. Oh, and there's the end of blood flow. Perfect. Now we can transition into the some more fitting jams. I've had that extension saved in my watch later for like weeks at this point. Because I love that song. It's one of my favorites from the expansion. It's really good. I really like it. I wanted to give it a listen, so it's in my history and I have it saved to a playlist. And I'm probably going to download the MP3 of it because I just love this song so much. And I wish it were longer. So anyways, we're going to boot up my old reliable here. We're gonna put in some Zelda and chill. How about that? Hell yeah. I'm learning so much about digital art pens. Yeah, and it's not just like pens and pencils and stuff like that. It's, you know, you can make it for paints. You can do it for pencils, pens. You can do it for all sorts of stuff. So if you happen to like use some of the default tools and you like what one does, but you kind of want it, if you'd like to use it for something else, and be like, I really like this one pen, but I don't like how it does this, or I wish it could do X, or I wish it didn't do Y. You can literally just go into the settings and futz with that stuff, and you know, just experiment with its shape. You could, you know, change how often the colors change. You can change its like its default opacity, the blending mode, like how it interacts with other colors that you lay down. You can do so much with brush settings. It's so cool. Something I recommend doing because I didn't do it until now, and you should do it at the start. The one thing I hate about winter is how dry it is. I need water. All right. All right. So we're gonna redo good old Chris here. So I've always wanted to redo Chris, redo his design. Good old Universe Traveler Prime here. Because while I'm kind of okay with how his look turned out, I didn't do everything the way that I wanted to with it. Or at least I'm kind of, when I look at it, I'm kind of unsatisfied with the choices I made. Mainly in some aspects to his face. His outfit and everything else, though, top, peak. I like the choices I made. I'm glad with how he turned out. It's just I don't like how I drew his nose. I don't know why I put the curve of his nostril like so far close to his, like, the outline of his nose. Also, I don't think I would trace the line that high up his face. That's not something I would do nowadays. But yeah, I don't know why I put that curve so close there, because it looks like he's got like a piercing or something. It looks like fine, but I don't know. I want it to look different, and I don't like, because I went with the clean. I think I used the G pen or Frendon's like standard brush for the outlines, and I don't know. I don't like how clean it is, and because the other thing too is using a brush like this with something that's got really clean lines, it's like it leaves it open to errors like this right here, where you go to draw one line and then it's like it does this here where it dips in a little bit because you're putting pressure right at the start and then moving it out. So then it gets thin and then thick and then thins out again. That's the one reason why I don't like using like digital pens, like digital pen brushes, just because you get things like that, and like something up here where it's like it happened here. Let's see, where's another one? Oh yeah, like right here, it happened there too. And then it's like if you're not like really good at keeping your hand steady, or you have stabilization turned all the way up, I don't know, it doesn't really have that nice polish. Here's another one right there. You know, it doesn't really have that polish that certain other artists like have down pat. Currently, I think he is. Hold on, friend of the show, friend of the pod, late customer, aka David, or Dave. He doesn't go by David. What am I smoking? If you watch Dave draw his art, he's actually doing a stream right now. You look at his art and his inks are so clean. It's amazing how clean some of his line art is. It's incredible. And I can only dream to achieve such clean line work as he does. But that's why I like to draw in pencil. It's because with pencils, I can kind of mask my shaky hands with rougher line art. Because by putting rougher lines down, it kind of masks how I don't want to say, well, it is kind of shaky. How shaky my hands kind of get when I draw. And now I chicken scratch a lot. Because that's just how I learned to draw. Because the thing is, when you draw, you want to have flow to your lines. Which means you don't chicken scratch all the time. Because your lines need flow. Oh, did I want to put that down yet? Hold on. I'm going to undo that. Lower opacity, new layer. We're gonna lay down my guidelines, because I want my guidelines to be darker or just darker than my head shape. And I guess speaking of differences, in regards to how I used to do stuff, I also drew this Chris back in the day when I would use multiple colors when I sketched, so that way I could track all of the individual like aspects of the face and the drawing. I would track all that using different colors, so that way I wouldn't lose, I could look at each element independent of itself, and I could just look at it at a glance. Nowadays, I just throw black on everything, because it's just easier. Hang on, just scoot in a little bit. I love Move Tool. Thank you, Move Tool and or Transform Tool. You are the best. Okay, we're just gonna drop the opacity down to like 75. That's good. Okay. I think what's throwing me off is the thing I'm drawing isn't actually in the center. You wouldn't think that would throw me off, but it does. Okay. Actually, before I even throw down the details of the body, or the face, let me go back to this layer. Because this was the new approach that I was going to do from the get-go. We're just gonna start down here. And Universe Traveler Prime here. He's a bit of a toned guy. He's kind of toned. He's not buff. He's just fit for reasons. Oops. Helps if you gonna want to take the rest of that with me. First of all. Esper Custom. I know also drawing. Well, doodling. Very busy rewriting Nova's biology in my head. Yeah. Well, being an energy being, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty complex. Yeah. Pretty complex organism. It's even I think you'd want to call it that. So trying to get it right probably takes a lot of tinkering. Also, I imagine you would get pretty fit traveling multiverse. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you happen to be in like get stuck in a place that's like dangerous. That's what I was looking for. Fuck me. Get stuck in a place that's dangerous, you know, you're spending a lot of time running. Or if you're like being hunted for reasons, then, you know, kind of helps to have a good workout routine. 30. Also, I think I'm going to be like showing my ass a little bit here because I haven't actually drawn full body to anything in so long. I am very out of practice. So how do legs work again? Same here, pal. Yeah, same boat. Same boat, same hat. Whichever, what is it, colloquialism you want to use? Yeah, I feel like I need to, because I know like figure drawing stuff, because I really should actually try figure drawing, like actually do like real practice. It's just actually going out and finding a site for it that I can find and use that would be suitable for my needs. Oh, I just spat all over my tablet. Ugh. Because I feel like if I can just get down a technique where I can like do something like I don't know, like I want to whip out a pose like this, and you know, I don't know, do something like this, and like nail it all down, and then I know it'd be up here, and then be able to draw everything over it. It would be huge. And also a bit of relearning I think might be involved too. Because I feel like the way I usually do it is I go head, and then torso, stomach, and then pelvis in this sort of way. I feel like there's kind of like a disconnect in my head a little bit when I draw each piece like one after the other. And if I can just find my method so that way I can just do everything all at once and sort of be like, torso, you know, here's the body, here's the legs, the arms, and then just do everything off of that and do it in as few steps as possible without like thinking too hard about it. I feel like I'd have it made. And it's funny because I draw in my little cheapo line notebook at work when I'm on breaks sometimes. And some of those instances I bust out some good stuff, I feel. And it's like, I don't know what it is about drawing in that notebook versus drawing digitally here on my tablet at home. But something about it, I can bust out some really good stuff that I look back on and I'm like, oh man, was I cracked? What was I on? It's like I actually bust out stuff and I'm like, oh man, hey, this actually looks pretty decent. I wish it wasn't just a chicken scratch ballpoint pen doodle. But you know, it still wouldn't stop me from sharing it anyway. I guess another thing that I also do when I'm at work is I tend not to build anatomy like this, because that's the other thing too, is whenever I draw something, if I'm like, say if I wanted to draw my boy here, I wouldn't build the anatomy and then put everything else on top of it. I would literally just head, jaw, neck, and then I would literally just draw the shirt over it, and then it's like, yeah, he looks about the right size, and then just throw in everything else there, and like arms. Obviously I'm usually putting a lot more effort into it, but I tend to just throw in my shorthand like this, and then I kind of do this for that, and then whoop, there's his ears, and there's his thing in the always angry. And then something like that. It's kind of how a lot of my work stuff tends to look. Which I think I'm actually going to start doing this again instead of his ahoge, which I think I put on this design initially because with this design, this is like his first appearance. This is how he looks at the start of the project that I was working on. So he has the little ahoge as a signifier of like, oh, he's kind of young, he's not really experienced yet, and he's still got, you know, some growing and learning to do. And then as he ages up, as the story progresses, there's, I forget if it was like a recent, if like it was arc 2 or something like that, he like survives an attack or something like that, and his ahoge gets cut off, and then his hair sort of evens out a little bit, and then as he matures and becomes his own person, you know, he loses that, and you know, he becomes his own person, and he grows and changes. But I don't know, I think I might just get rid of it, because I don't know, I showed my sister the drawing I had of him, and she's like, I don't know, it doesn't really fit him. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's kind of meant to show that he's unexperienced. But then I don't know, I look at it now and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't really fit him. Really, the time I was best at human bodies was back when I made ship art. I wish I could say it was ages ago. Well, I mean, a lot of advice that I hear is, it's like, if you really want to get good at art, then you become obsessed with like one thing, and then you just do it over and over again. Because I mean, you get obsessed with one thing, you want to do it over and over again, and then, you know, bada bing, bada boom. That's practice time, baby. It's like you're getting practice in. It's like it counts. It's like it's how I've gotten so good at Sonic, the Sonic style, was because I loved Sonic the Hedgehog, so I drew my fan characters so much, and I just got really good at it. So now whenever I bust out a Dusty, it's very easy because he's basically just a bigger Sonic styled character. Same with Sparks, like the actual Anthro version of Sparks that I've been using. He's based off the skeleton of a Sonic character, so he's very easy for me to whip out because I've practiced it so much. And it's very easy for me to nail that shape because I've studied it so much. And the other thing too that I've heard, thank you, Karina Drawfee, is if you actually like go to art school, you tend to look at things as shapes, and you build how you do art kind of changes. So when you actually learn proper techniques and stuff like that, you tend to look at things as shapes, and you're like, you don't know why this thing is the shape that it is, but you know that it's there, and if you draw it as that shape, it looks the way it's supposed to. And Jacob, who was also part of Drawfee, Jacob Drawfee, I forget, because they actually had this conversation in a stream, and I'm basically just paraphrasing it, but they had this conversation in one of their streams where Karina went to like a proper art school, like proper art college, and she learned her fundamentals through that. And so when she builds things, she builds characters, she does like the shapes, she does like oops, that's the eraser. She does like a bean for, or no, that's more like Jacob's thing, but he does like the bean for like the torso, and then you draw the thing like this, and then the legs like that. Anyways, but yeah, he what she draws it like that, whereas Jacob kind of looks at things like a silhouette. It's like, oh, you see the shape of the silhouette, and you start with that, and that is how you kind of start out and then go in, instead of going in and then going out. Kind of like that. But I kind of just realized something about myself. I just whipped this out, and I'm like, huh. This is kind of the thing I'm talking about, where, because I always do my torsos like this, where it's like I draw the shoulders out, and then I'm like, you have the back of the back, and then like the arm will connect here. But I literally just did like this shape, and then did this, and that's literally the exact same shape with less work, and I managed to bust this out. See, all it takes is a little experimentation, practice, and you'll eventually land somewhere. Now I kind of want to restart this. All it takes is traveling the universe. Hell yeah. You travel around the universe and then the multiverse at large, and you're exposed to all sorts of different practices and customs, and it helps you grow and develop as a person. You know what? Also gonna adopt a Drawfeism here. I'm gonna delete your art. Hope you saved it. Hope you saved what you were working on. Because, you know what? Fuck it, adjustment. You know what? This is my bravery test. Here we go. We're going to try something new. But you're not going to get me to delete that head. Hell no. That's a good head right there. You kidding me? Slight regrets. Slight regrets. That's a damn good head. Hell yeah, it's a damn good head. Okay, actually, hopefully I didn't too. Please tell me I can actually go back and actually get that. I'm regretting it slightly. Okay, thank you. Okay, maybe not a delete your art moment, but I am going to do something different though. I do want to keep those feet. So, oops, that's the same layer. Yeah, I think the part that threw me off is drawing this, is doing that. An arc like that doesn't quite fit, because I think it's better if it's pointed down like this. But the general shape of that is good. Oh, because it would be, yeah, because it would be something like this, and then come down like that. Yeah, because I didn't want to get rid of these. The feet too. The feet are another thing. The other thing I didn't consider is it is a good body, I admit. Yeah. I don't know. I think now I'm getting in my own head. Fuck. This is... What am I doing? Okay. Oh, right. So was this a fluke? Was this something I... Oh well. Oops. Actually, I want this over here. Okay. Man, this is all stuff I need to just... I'll just have to dink with this a little bit more. But the other thing, though, is I want to... What am I doing? What am I going to do? I really need to figure out bodies again. My Asmodeus design relies on it. Yeah, I need to go through and go back through and look at some of your stuff. Cause I can't keep them all straight. I have poo brain. I got bees and sawdust going around here. I can hardly remember anything. And it also makes me wish... I don't know how you can do this. Man, I kind of want to... Opening up the wrong thing on my computer. Alright, keep this up. Man, now I'm all confuzzled. I want to figure out... How does one give out toy house codes? Because if I... Because, like, I wouldn't mind... Yeah, so it's like you have to pay for premium. Okay. I didn't know that. Man, I'm learning... I've learned new stuff about art, and the only... I'm learning about art, I'm learning about how websites work. Also, I think the reason why I psyched myself out with this is because I traced it over this. So, I think that's why. It's because I saw the thing through the matrix and whatever. And, hell's this layer? Oh, it was just a new layer for that above it. Okay. Because I psyched myself out. That's the reason why I was like okay with this. Pretty sure. I guess the other thing too that I'm a little meh about is I gotta draw the anatomy so that way I can draw them in different outfits. Because that's one thing I do with a lot of my art stuff is I tend to save the bits and the baubles that I work with. So in the odd chance I need them later, I can quickly refer to them and use them for other things. To be fair, the only remnant of Asmodeus is a head and chest on my page, with faint bunny ears. Pooh brain is reasonable. Okay. because the one thing I wish I could do is just give out Toy House codes to everybody and just be like, put all your shit in here, so if I need to refer to it again, I can just look it up. Because it's the one thing I hate when people are like, oh, I've got this fan character and I'm building this world, they have lore and everything, and I'm like, cool, where is it? And they're like, here. And they like point to an Instagram page or like a Tumblr page, and it's just super disorganized. It's spread out all over the place, and it's like, why are you making me do this, man? It's super frustrating to have to hunt for that stuff. So whenever people are like, hey, I got this thing, it's all here on this page. Even if it's just like, if it's like a Tumblr thing, then it's like, oh, all the posts that are tied to this one character have this one tag on it. You click that tag, it's all there. And it's like, you know what? Cool. I can deal with that. That's perfectly fine. Or if it's like Instagram, then there's like a highlight, you know, where they have the little story thing underneath their like bio. And it's like all these posts and all these asks that they did on their story. It's like, boom, it's all on this highlight. You can just click that and you can scroll through everything and catch back up on all that stuff. Awesome. But when it's like, it's just there, I find it really frustrating. Because as a person with a splash of autism and ADHD dizzle, it's hard to keep track of that stuff. It's like I have to do it for myself, otherwise I forget my own shit. Which is why I draw references all the damn time. Because it's like I forget how even my own characters look and work and act. So references are key. Also, I need to make his arms bigger. Because the one thing, it's like, hands need to be big. They need to be about the size of the face. Which I think I actually managed to achieve pretty well with the previous drawing. Please, I'm not wear the Toy House code. Oh, don't say that. Even if you could have given one. If you ever need me to find stuff for you, I'll just ask and I'll grab it directly. Yeah, that's fair. And I'm also just, it's also really nice that knowing that I can just, you know, ask. Because I can be pretty annoying with that stuff, where it's like, hey, I forgot. Because it's a thing that kind of, it's a thing that's kind of extended from, you know, from like past, I don't want to say traumas, because I don't know. It makes it sound really bad, but it's, I don't know, not that bad. It's not like I suffered abuse or anything, but it's like when you've dealt with people that don't have the understanding of, hey, you kind of deal with a thing that makes it harder for you to remember and do things, so we'll have the patience with you to, you know, to address those problems. And, you know, we have the understanding that you have trouble with this. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. It's like not having that kind of support makes me a bit leery when I deal with, you know, more patient people and being like, hey, I kind of forgot this thing. Could you point it out again? Because, you know, I don't remember. And I get, it's a little nerve-wracking to ask, because it's like I should know this, because this thing that you've shown me is obviously very important to you and it's important to me. So I just, you know, and I feel really bad for not remembering, even though it's really important. So it's like, it gets, you know, it's hard to ask. So it's always nice when people are like, oh, no, that's cool. I totally get it. definitely takes the pressure off of me and makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, I really shouldn't be agonizing on the details because I'm this is the anatomy sketch, doofus. I won't say doofus. I like myself. It's just anatomy. Don't oops. Don't get too worked up over the details. At least not yet. Save that for later, when you're actually putting in the details in quotes. Yeah, it's fine. No, I understand. I keep a personal index and I can grab whatever you need. Written lore, art, and characterizations, even voice references if so desired. That's awesome. And that's kind of a thing that I try to do, is, you know, make things like that, like an index of all the various stuff that's tied to certain characters. It's something I need to get in the habit of doing. That's kind of why I'm deciding to do this project again, where it's like I'm making like the basic reference stuff, but this time I'm starting from the top and I'm just going to work my way down in a style that's, you know, quick and easy for me to churn out. But yeah, that's really cool. And the fact that you've got like voice references and stuff for that, I think this is more of a personal thing, and I don't know, I think I talked about this, where, no, because you asked me that question, where it was like, do you imagine like voices for your characters? Do you imagine how they sound? Because that's something I don't think about too much when it comes to certain characters, or not even certain characters, just my characters in general, is I don't think about how they sound. I think the closest, and I mentioned this, was Dusty's mom would have a voice similar to Marin Miller. And that's like the only character where I'm like, this is how they sound. Everybody else, I'm just like, nah, I tried to picture it and I got nothing. It's like, if it ever got to the point where it's like, we need to cast people, I'm like, well, all right, casting directors, that's all on you. It's like, I'll take the final say with who you think would be the best choice, but, you know, aside from that, it's like, I'm open to whoever. Now we're getting to a place that I'm unfamiliar with. So how to draw the arms in this position. So I want to draw his hand like out like this. So I kind of want to mirror the old reference. The air is so dry, and it's like I'm so stuffed up. Sucks. It's one thing I hate. One thing I hate about living here is it's like the dry heats I take. I hate the heat in general, but it's like I'll take the dry heat. The dry ass winters are another story. Fucking suck. Ugh. Wish I had a humidifier. Considering it's my passion job, I tend to think about voices a lot. That's also true. Yeah, and it's funny that it's like, I don't know, I think about the voice acting side a lot when it comes to some stuff, and then I'm just like, my characters, yeah, it's just a me thing. Yeah. What do you think of Nova's voice? Oh, yeah. I did listen to the Nightmare Fredbear stuff. honestly, that's a really good fit. And I really like it. That'll be our drink. Yeah, I definitely think it's a good fit, and it's very like a very scary voice for her. Ugh. This aloe vera drink cup has pulp in it, and my compulsion is to chew up the pulp bits, because if I don't, I feel like I'll swallow it and it'll get caught in my throat. I'm gonna have to kick my table. I'll have to listen to listen to the reference again, because I can picture it in my head, but it's just a reconstruction. It's not actually the thing. But I really liked what I heard, and I think it's a great fit for it. So I was like, yeah, thumbs up. That's kind of all I got to say about that. But yeah, I think that was a good choice. Oh, and this is the part that I always dislike the most, is trying to make the arms consistent. Because I have trouble with that. I know, this is like, it's like, I think they're all, I mean, it's like, they're all right, but I mean, they've got to be perfect. Which I really should stop. I was considering doing an animatic using the line, yeah, let's see how many times you can be pulled apart. Oh my god, I can like picture it. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Yeah, after writing the high of my first. Yeah, I appreciate the support on the back. Yeah, of course. Honestly, if actually, you know what? Not to put like undue pressure on you or anything. Out of the kiddos here, who would you like cast as who? Like, just from their appearance, like, what would you think they'd sound like? This is like the main group, right? Chris is 18, 15, 19, 12-ish. He's like hovering around like between the ages of like 9 and 12, around there. And Flash, he doesn't talk, but he's a mute. It's like, if you were to look at these guys, who would you pick? Who'd you cast? I gotta make him disappear again. I keep readjusting my stuff. Oops. Boop. There we go. Okay. Back to what I was doing. Well, I cast you as Travelers start off to be oh so creative. Oh, shucks. I've always thought about that, where it's like, if I were to be like a part of that, it's like, would I be like, I'm voicing the character, me, that's me, I'm doing it, me, because it's mine. Because I don't know if I have the he doesn't have the range. I'd have the range to like realistically capture like 18-year-old anymore. That's kind of why all the other versions of that character got older. It's because most of them are like inserts of me, so it's like they all sort of grew in age as I made different versions of him. But yeah, if it ever came down to it, I would love to try and flex my acting chops a little bit. Because I think I mentioned that before, where it's like, I'd love to do voice acting stuff. I don't really consider it like, this is the end goal. But it's like, I don't know, if anybody presented me the opportunity to, I'd be like, I'd love to audition. I'd love to try. Please, sir, let me audition. I think one of the main reasons why I don't like audition more though is it's just the competitive aspect of it, where it's like technically you are fighting for roles, and you have to like compete with other actors from time to time. It's like, I don't know. If I were to do it, I'd rather just do it for the fun of it, just have fun. That's what I'm in it for. So, and I don't, if you're in it for fun, you don't have to make it a career. So. That's kind of where I stand on it currently. And also for the fact that it's like I'm in an environment where I sound different like every other where I just lost my train of thought. I looked at some words on the screen, my brain fell apart. Oh yeah, and I sound different so often because the environment is just hard on me. If I had my way, I would move to the west coast, over the mountains, so I'm not living in the freaking rain shadow. The semi-arid steppe bullshit is for the birds. To be entirely honest, Traveler, I thought you were younger than me for a good bit. Really? I'm gonna... Hold on, I always feel a smidge better about myself whenever people are like, how old are you? And then they're like, I'm gonna guess. And then they like guess like 4 or 5 years younger than I actually am, which is really nice, because then I'm like, oh, I'm still retaining some of my youth, even though I'm not that old. But I don't know. There are some days where I look in the mirror and I go, I'm so old. Or I bend down and my like knees click or something like that. And it's like, ugh! These about the same size? I think they're about the same size. Yeah, I think they're about the same size. If you're older than me, you're primordial, because I'm ancient. Yeah, I don't think I'm... Am I? I don't know. I'd have questions. Would I be? No. And I also think the thing that contributes to like the age discrepancy thing that I kind of go through is, and this is just a guess, but I like to think it is. I think it's because of my voice. For my age, my voice is kind of sits in a really awkward place where it's not, I can go really high, and then I can kind of go a little deep. But it has no bass to it. So it's like, it feels like I haven't actually matured in that way. It's like, definitely you can tell if you listen to like old recordings of me, you know, from when I was younger. It's like you can definitely tell that things have changed, but without that knowledge, it's sort of like, oh, you're still a pretty young individual. And also for the record, 25 to 30 is like, that's not old. That's actually really young still. Just anybody who stumbles upon this and wants my opinion on that. You haven't even hit the best parts of your life yet. Excuse me? Your deep voice is like perfect Santa? You think so? Like, oh, something like that? Because that's just me. All I do is I just sit upright. I put air in my chest and I talk from like my chest. Like, oh. Something like that. Oh, believe me, traveler, the best part of my life was a long while ago. Yeah. And that's, I don't know. I think it really also just depends on people's lives and like the individual like hurdles that we go through. Because a lot of people say, oh, they're 30. It's like 20s aren't your best. Your 30s are your best. And some people are like, no, your 30s aren't your best. Your 40s are your best. Or so on and so forth. Or their childhood was like the best part of their lives. And I think there is some like grains of truth to all of that when it comes to when it comes to maturing and growing and life experiences and all that stuff and how it changes your perspective on things. But yeah, I think I am of the mindset that things sort of get better as you age. I wish I could manage that voice. My lord, my deep is villainous and scary. Too deep. And see, I wish I had the deep bassy voice. I have oh man, I'm kind of fucking this up. My family, I have a sibling, my brother. His voice, he's the one that has like the really deep voice, which is really nice, and it's really bassy. So compared to him, I'm like, yeah, I'm like the Weasley guy. But Merry Christmas, everybody. I don't know. I feel like that it's like, I feel like if I did that, somebody would be like, oh, buddy, I know you're trying. You're really trying. I can tell you're trying. Just pat. Just you're doing your best. So, and the other thing too is, I don't know, you say Santa Claus, there was a person that I used to work with who said that I could be a dead ringer for Santa Claus because of the way, when I smile, the way my cheeks kind of push up on my face. I have it's when I had my beard. I had a fully grown beard, and the way that my beard sits on my face and the way that my cheeks push up when I smile, I would be a dead ringer for a good Santa Claus. Apparently. According to them. So, the fact that, there was that, and then also apparently my deep voice is like Santa quality. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. It's like I never really considered myself to be a Santa Claus, because mostly it was I had friends who were like, oh, your friend is like, he's taller, so he'd be the perfect Santa Claus, or it's like, he's got he has a deeper, bassier voice than you do, so he's a better suit for that. You get to be an elf. And I'm like, Yeah, okay. Fine. I'll be an elf, sure. Traveler, you've demonstrated to me your range, and I am living for it. Ah, thank you. Ah. Yeah, if I ever make my dream game, you're hired with your consent, of course, dude. I would be 110% down to voice anything. That would be amazing. I'd love to be on a project like that. It's like it'd be so cool. Can scratch it off my bucket list. Because even though I never really was like, I'm going to be a voice actor, I'm going to follow this career path. I still like practice voices and stuff like a madman. And it also helps that because of the tism H dizzle that I've got, I pick up vocal stems a lot, and I just repeat them to myself. And because of that, I'll pick up a voice, and then I say it and I repeat it, and then I kind of learn how to make it so that I parrot it basically. And some of them I pick up and I can do really well, and others I pick up and I'm like, okay, I can't really do it, so then I kind of just abandon it and I forget about it. So that's kind of where this stuff comes from. So good examples is Nagito Komaeda from Danganronpa 2. He says like, "Oh Hajime," I think in one of the late game trials where he's like belittling you, the main character, and his voice is kind of gravelly. And he's voiced by the same actor who played Makoto in the first game, but it's like completely opposite. So instead of Makoto being like, "My name's Makoto Naegi," Nagito is like, "My name's..." Oh my god, hold on. Hold on. I'll get there. 1 second. He's like, "I'm Nagito Koma..." Okay. But the word that he says, "Oh Hajime." He's like, "Oh Hajime." And then I follow it up with, "Oh Hajime, if only there was someone out there who loved you," or something like that. Something is wrong with me, but I could do it so well. I think it might be the weather, maybe, but I could bust out Nagito really well. I also think it's because I just haven't practiced. But it was because it's one that I used to do. But the other one was the Fear, and it was specifically the version of the Fear that was in the Metal Gear Solid 3 comic dub by Broad Spectrum Studios, which was a comic. There was a comic that was drawn by GGDG, I think that's their name. The person who ended up making Cucumber Quest. The person who made Cucumber Quest, long time ago, when they went as Hi, I'm Daisy on the internet, they made a bunch of Metal Gear fan comics. They did Let's Destroy Metal Gear, Let's Destroy Metal Gear Again, Let's Destroy the Shagahad, Let's Destroy the Fox Unit, and I think it was just those 4. I think, because it was 1, 2, 3, and then Poops. I think. Portable Ops. I think. Right? Yeah. But Broad Spectrum Studios, the pool of talent they have for that channel is just chef's kiss. It's so good. I love the actor choices they made for that comic dub. It's so good. And I forget who voiced the Fear in that comic dub, but he does like this
I am the fear! The fear! Hey, would it be really intimidating if I run around the arena screaming my own name?
And that was when I learned that I was like, oh, I can
kind of do that really sneaky, gravelly voice. It's so mean and menacing.
without like destroying my throat. Whether or not it's the weather, that's just a really good anime voice. You think so? I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. I guess I just don't hear it because it's my own voice. But yeah. But that was when I learned I could
do that really sneaky voice.
And that's when I like to bust around, bust out because it's just fun. It's just a fun. It's just a fun one to do. And also, the Fear's like short appearance in that comic is just really funny. Oh, your Fear voice. I'm in love with it in a sensory sense. It's perfect. No, thank you. But yeah, I used to. Another thing I used to do is I also kept a voice of all the. A list of a voice, whatever. I used to keep a log of all the voices I could do. And I kept note of them all. So if it was like, this is the one I know how to do, and I could, if I ever needed to refer to a voice that I needed to do, I could look at my list and go, oh yeah, it was this voice and I did this for it. Right. And then I could just get back into it in case I forgot. Which is a thing that happens a lot. In case that wasn't obvious enough by the times I've mentioned it. Okay. I think I like the length of this arm. I think it looks fine. Does it look fine? Because if it's good now, then I'm just going to start working on the rest of it. Because I've already been at... How long have I been at this? I've just been sitting here for an hour and a half just talking about that stuff. Looks good to me. Okay. Yeah, because the whole point of this was not to, like, work on this for a super long time. Because the stream was... I wasn't going to spend too much time on it, and yet I'm just sitting here talking. Come to an art stream and just listen to a guy talk for an hour and a half about random stuff. I distracted both of us by realizing your talent. Yeah. Well, I don't know. So the thing is I've always been told that I have a knack for it, but I haven't had it be recognized by somebody who knows what they're doing enough to be like, that is something that you have as a skill that you could develop into something that could be made into a workable career. I've always heard those kinds of things from people who like have a kind of a passing knowledge of that stuff. So I never really took it all that seriously. Like my singing voice. Like, I went through and I've done singing lessons, I've done all that stuff, and I've been told that it's really good. And I've been told by people who do singing that I have a good singing voice. So that is something that if somebody were like, hey, can you sing? I'd be like, yeah, I know how to sing. I can sing. It's like my range is meh, but I know how to sing. But when it comes to like acting and stuff, acting itself has sort of become like this, to me. This is half true, but it's kind of been deified in the point where it's like, no mere mortal could ever achieve the act of voice over. It's impossible. Please stop. And it's like, I just look at it and I go, well, this is as far as I go. Just, I'm done. This is it. I quit. I give up. I tried. I really tried. And I I don't really put a lot of time into it. And it's the same thing with art too. Is people have told me, it's like, oh, you have a really nice style, and you know it looks really nice, and then it's like, yeah, that's cool, but it's like, are you an artist? Like, who knows their stuff? And it's like, and of course I say that, and I know it sounds like a really asshole thing to say, because obviously people can appreciate art no matter what their skill in art is. Appreciation is a thing that can be, you know, it's universal, right? And people can appreciate things for different things. But when it comes to a critique from somebody who knows what they're doing, who learns a skill and practices enough to kind of develop the objectionable, or like, not the subjective side of things, but like the actual things of like, this is what makes a good performance, right? Or this is what makes good drawing technique, or things like that, you know? It's things like that when, you know, when you see somebody who knows that kind of stuff and has developed that skill enough to recognize those things, to look at your stuff and go, hey, you've got like a skill or a knack for this. If you practice it, you could be in this position someday. That to me means a lot, because not only did you grab the attention of somebody who knows what they're doing, but it also goes to show that it's like, you know, you aren't exactly lying to yourself and telling you know how to do it. Other people recognize it within you, and that kind of helps you recognize it within yourself at the same time, if that makes any sense. I don't want to make it seem like I'm like, where I don't have the appreciation of all the talented people. It's because honestly, and I live by this. It's like, if anybody goes out of their way to look at my anything and be like, hey man, you did good work, then it's like, I take that little thing and I give it a bunch of kisses and I put it in my pocket. Cause, you know, it's anybody, it's like, you got their attention and they went out of their way to tell you that because, you know, it brought them some iota of whether it was like happiness or maybe it was like fear or something like that. You gave them something that they will take away and they will bring with them throughout the journey that is their life, right? And that's important. But it's like when somebody who recognizes skill and talent and knows what they're doing is like, hey, you got this. It's like, oh, so I'm not just telling this to myself to make myself, you know, feel better and to survive life. I actually do have it. Oh, okay. I'm unfortunately shit at singing, but I can scream good. And that's something that I wish I think I have that. I'm not going to scream now, obvious. Like, I don't want to say obviously, but I don't feel like screaming right now. But I feel like I'm really good at projecting my voice. I just don't do it too often because I don't like doing it, because I don't like loud noises. Which is, you know, ironic. I listen to my music at full blast. Don't at me. I just don't like making loud noises. But I'm told that I can project my voice really well. So, yeah. Anyways, now that we're done with this, I kind of just left these here. I kind of want to just leave these little sketches here. I'm going to put them on a separate layer though, because they're a little distracting. So we're just going to do that. Drag it down here, and we're just going to make it invisible. There we go. I'm really actually kind of liking this new... I really like my anatomy for this. It's really nice. I really like it. You know what? I'm actually excited about this. I really am. You know, that's something I kind of wish I also had. When mentioning screaming, I kind of wish I had a dual input setup and a splitter for my because I have a Focusrite Scarlett audio box. I kind of wish I had 2 tracks that I could use in like a splitter, so that way I could record 2 different tracks, one set for screaming and one set for yelling, so that way I could, mix audio and stuff like that, because that's like a goal of mine, or I say a dream of mine is to like learn how to mix audio. I'd really love to learn that someday, so that way I could do video and stuff like that. Anyways, this has been a very positive stream so far. Yeah, it's nice getting to just talk about this stuff. I'm kind of glad I decided to stream today. I was waffling back and forth on it because I was thinking about doing this stream late at night, because the idea of redrawing my old OCs, or just drawing my OCs in general, is really nice. I really love the idea of drawing my own characters, because that's just how it's how I cope, despite it all. And just the idea of sitting down and actually drawing my OCs without the pressure of trying to fit into a community or anything like that. Because again, I talked about the Spider-Sona community and seeing all the talented people there and being like, man, I don't produce nearly enough stuff at the same level of quality as everybody else does. So it's like, man, I don't fit in here at all. Which is kind of it's kind of the way that whenever I join a community, how that usually happens. And I just fall out, because then it's like, oh, well, I don't belong. I'll never belong. Never. So I just kind of burn out, and then I never look back. But, drawing my OCs, nobody's in a competition to do that. Who the hell wants to draw my characters? Of course I say that like it's sad, but it's like, I want to draw my own characters, and I'm not in a competition with myself. Fighting over that? Nobody. That's who. So it's like, there's no obligation to being like, I need to produce this much content in this amount of time. It's like, no, I do this for the fun of it. I do it for fun, and there's no stress, no worries. Just sit down and draw, brother. It's all good. You're in a safe space here. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this. And then, I was thinking about it, and I was like, do I really want to do this? Some of my references for these characters aren't actually that old. Some of them are still relatively recent. Again, the Ryarda was, I drew that one in I started it in 2023, and I finished it in June. So, it's not really that old. So it's like, do you really want to redo it? And you want to do a basic reference? It's like, but, Ryarda as a character has a lot of bits and baubles that need to be kept track of. But then it's like, I really want to redo her, because I want her to fit more of my current style, along with Chris, Universe Traveler Prime, along with all the other variants that he's got, whether it's a universal variant or a dimensional variant, or, the mascot version that I'm still working on. It's like, there's a lot. There's a lot. But, at the end of the day, I was like, no, I still want to do this. Because I'm still cool with the idea, and I think it'll be really fun. I would very much like to draw your characters at some point, if I felt I could do them justice. And I would be over the moon, honestly. And that's kind of the reason why I want to get all these references drawn, or at least get art of these characters out, because it's like, all these people be like, I have so many characters, I just can't keep track of them all. And I'm like, how many do you have? Oh, I have there's 5. I have 5 characters. Or somebody's like, I have 10. Meanwhile, hold on. Let me see if I can bust this out really quick. Where? Oh, wait. Wait, actually, hold on. I need to... Before I accidentally dox myself for a second. The music's over! Hang on, I need to wait for the video to... I'm not going to dox myself, am I? I don't think so? Okay. Okay, I need to... Come on, music. I'm waiting for this YouTube video to end. Come on. There we go. Sonic and Chill. There we go. Okay. Internet. Yeah. Do this. Oh yeah, and I'm a competition now. I am the reality traverser. Oh no, it's like either my rival or the or the Chinese knockoff version. That if you look at my characters, you could see them in like one of those cardboard backed plastic bubble action figure sets. That's like Super Mash cousins, and it's like it's just them. If Pokemon count as characters, oh boy. Oh yeah. No, I think that would count. Making Fakemon. But then I'm like... I don't know, somebody tells me that and I'm like... I don't know how this is going to show up. Hold on. What's this? Okay, you can kind of see. All of these characters are like... the main and side characters of all of my projects that I've wanted to make over the course of my life. They go to column I, and there's about how many rows? There's like 33. Obviously none of these go all the way down to the bottom of this little square that I have them set in, but all of these are like named characters that were like, they are important to these stories. And easily this is like, let's see, there's 32 here and then 27 here, so that's 59, and that's like not even all of the characters that would show up here that would need like designs, but these are like the important enough characters where I'm like, okay, these ones need names and designs and they play a big role, so I need to have their look and their design down pat because they play an important enough role that I don't want to have them repeat, you know. So it's like all of these characters have designs and shit like floating around in my brain. So it's, yeah. I have a lot. So it's like, get on my levels, scrub, or whatever. I don't know. It's not a competition, obviously, but it's like, I got a lot rattling around in here, and now you understand the incredible pressure I'm under. And then there's like fan characters and stuff like that, and then, oh yeah, this is the to-do list. I was gonna make references for everybody. This is the old thing. Oh yeah, and here's my spreadsheet for all the names I've used for all my characters. Poor you. I don't have anybody named with the letter U. Sad day. But I had to keep track of all the names because, you know, I try not to have any repeats. I think I have 2 characters named June. Yeah, the Murder Mystery and Siblings of Destiny. Yeah. I have 2 characters named June. That was just an accident, but I decided to keep them both named June because, fuck it, whatever. One of them has a last name, the other one doesn't. Or no, they both have last names. They both have different last names. So, they're different enough. But, yeah. So there's that. Turn the browser capture off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a lot. It is. But most are unnamed. I also do, but most are unnamed. Yeah. And that's totally fair, too, because I've had characters run around in my head with no name for a long time. And, I'm like, I need to, like, actually give you a name so I can stop referring to you as, like, main character 26, or in the case of, Iris from a while ago, she was just literally just Allison's younger sister, and that was her title. She didn't have a name for a while, so that's just what I called her. And I was like, I need to give you a name so that way I can just stop calling you the younger sister. But each of those characters, they all have like a personality and stuff that I really like to talk about, and I want to like make stuff with them. Oh, I've been talking so much, my throat. Hold on, I think I've actually loosened some stuff in my throat. Hang on. Oh, boy! I think I loosened up a bunch of stuff in the back of my throat. Now it's tickling me in a very unfun way. Ugh. Oof. Whew. Anyway, wow. Ugh. I'm having a lot of fun, but boy, this is this doesn't make good content. But boy, am I having a lot of fun. Though I say that, but it's like I wasn't really in this to make content. It's like I'm just here to hang out and have fun. Anyway, if it wasn't for the super naming scheme, Nova probably wouldn't have ended up a Sonic fan character. Interesting. Would they have just so that they would have just been an OC then, right? At that point. There we go. Look at that. A properly placed nostril outline. What a concept. Give him a little smile. Yeah. He's a happy guy. Usually. I don't have any sadness, right? I don't have any sadness, right? Yeah, but he's got nice round cheeks. This character, he doesn't miss too many meals, but he's not like fat. He's got like he just has a nice round face. Cause he's a friendly guy. So he's just meant to be really approachable, but kind of shy and kind of quiet. A lot of the Universe Traveler variants they're just nice, quiet guys. Indeed. In fact, they might have not been anything like they are now. Could have even been a hero. Huh. Man, now I'm just picturing that what if. Like, what if Nova, but a superhero? Oh, good grief. Excuse me. Hold on, good grief. One second. Ugh. Whew. Ugh. It's like talking and actually consuming liquids is like loosening up my... It's loosening up the junk. But yeah, I think that would be actually pretty interesting. Like, what if there was, although I am picturing just Nova now, as like a hero. It's like that would be an interesting juxtaposition. Kind of like how Batman is supposed to be, where it's like, oh, this character's like, kind of has like a dark and like intimidating design, but they're designed to be a good guy instead. So it's like, how would that play into like their heroics and all that stuff? I think it'd be pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I'm already seeing a difference between old Traveler and new. really love how I rendered these feet. I think it's because I actually arched the connection between the foot and the ankle, or at least the top of the stirrup, as you could see it. Because normally I go up and then I box it, so it's like a whoop whoop, it's like a ha like that. But I think going in an arc makes it a bit easier for me. I think. Right, I need to do the outlines for the hair, and that's going to be its own layer. So we'll make a layer for the face, which I'm calling done. I might round out his face just a little bit more, because I might, before I actually go any further, I kind of want to round out his face just a smidge. He doesn't have like a boxy chin. Indeed. Yeah. Okay. I mean, redemption could happen for her. I don't think her people would be happy learning of her failure. There's a redemption arc. Oh. Because I'm gonna be, I don't know. Hold on, I might be showing my ass a little bit here. Because the last time we talked about this, I think it was, I don't know. It was, what stream was this? It was a Sonic Adventure stream, right? Where we talked about, we talked about Nova, right? And we talked about like the race of her people and like how she lost her eye and all that stuff. Yeah, and we talked about that stuff, and my brain immediately went into, hey, but what if? And it was kind of in reference to the drawing I made of Sparks and Ami, Sparks and Ami with Nova. And I don't know, maybe this would be like some sort of AU where it's like, where Nova's kind of like, it's like, my name is Nova. I have been tasked with the, like, I don't know. I'm like spitballing this, but it's like the enormity of my responsibilities to bring order to a chaotic universe. In my time, I have faced gods and many a challenger, but all fell to my power. However, there's only one who's managed to escape. And then, like, Sparks pops up and he's like, "Hi, Nova, what you doing? Are you plotting to destroy the world?" Like, "Oh, that's neat." And he just shows up, and it's like, I don't know, there's like some bizarro world AU where it's like, he's just like the, like, annoying best friend that just shows up and is like, "So what you doing, buddy? Are you plotting to destroy the world? That sounds really interesting." But it's like, I don't know, for some reason she's like, he's like the one person that she can't like destroy for some reason, because of, like, I don't know, obligation or something like that. I don't know. I was just making stuff up. But I find the idea of this, like, world scouring being just unable to destroy this one person who doesn't, like, actually hate them, and is like, oh, they're just really nice, and they're a little annoying. Because, yeah, the SpongeBob and Plankton energy, exactly. It's kind of like that. Because, really, the way I see it is Sparks could not beat Nova. To me, in my head, if we were to be like, who would win in a fight, Sparks or Nova? Nova would win. Even if, you know, Sparks did his thing where it's like he goes into overdrive, he does like his super form, I say in quotes. He would still lose. And because that was also going to be a comic idea thing I was going to work on, where I was going to do a short comic thing where it's like, what if these two characters actually crossed over and stuff like that. And it was going to be a big thing, but then I kind of lost motivation for it. I still might do it, but I don't know. But it was going to, but he would put up a fight, but he would at the end lose because he doesn't have the same he doesn't like match their power level. But I don't know, just the idea of the two of them just kind of being at odds, but she can't like get rid of him. I don't know, it's just a fun dynamic to me. Am I on the face layer? Okay, I am. Thank heaven. I was gonna be really sad if I wasn't. There we go. I want to round out I want to make the contour of his nose sort of match the bottom of the nostril there. Also, I don't know why my eraser's at 30 there. Whew. Yeah. But yeah, that was the thing that I was kind of thinking about doing. This is fun. I think at some point Nova would get the chance to eradicate Sparks and choose not to, though instead make it look like a failure. Yeah, because there's in the comic. I'm just gonna. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it, so I'll just kind of spoil it. The way that I envisioned the fight going out is like he's in, because obviously, Nova's from the world with Sonic. It's like she would be in Sonic's world. Sparks' world is sort of set outside of that. He's set in his own world, so Nova would probably, through like, I don't know, universe, timey-wimey, dimension hopping BS, she would end up there, and the two would end up fighting because she's like, this world is, I will claim this world in the order of the whoever, and Sparks is like, nah, I don't think so, and so the two would end up fighting, and Sparks would be like, oh, I just realized who I'm kind of up against here. This isn't good. And so he would call in his allies, and he'd be like, it's like that meme of like, what is it, the frog with the phone, just being like, help, and then he just like falls to the floor, all beat up, and they're like, we just need to send this person, whoever they are, back where they came from. Get this person back where they came from, or so help me, and send them back, and just put them back where they came from. So the whole fight between the two of them is just this, you've got to hold out for as long as you can until we can, like, I don't know, either shoot them with a laser or you lure them here to trap them or something like that, so that way they can just whoop, send them home. Because that's how I initially envisioned it, was, you know, there's the scuffle, there's a big fight, Nova prepares like this one final attack, like, I don't know, like Frieza kind of deal, where it's like holding up an energy ball with her finger or something like that and just going, eh. Or like a big Kamehameha, something like that. Whatever Dragon Ball Z equivalent. And being like, ah, and then just boop, gone. And it's like Sparks is like dead to rights, and he's just like, oh, thank God. Oh, she's out. And then he just, you know, energy dissipates, falls on his face. It's like, oh, I did it. But I don't know. I think that would also be pretty fun to be like, I don't know. I think to be like, to look at him and I don't know, because I don't know Nova as like super well, so I think it'd be really interesting to be like, what is it that she would see in him that would have her spare him? Because I think that would be a really, I don't know, it's stuff like that I find really interesting and I love to like dig into. Is it's like you have this character who is like devout in their mission to bring order to the world, right? And enough that it's like they've obviously seen damage from it, like, you know, she's like missing her eye and all that, but it's like, you know, and also to come from a race that like sees themselves as obviously perfect, or at least close enough to perfect that they're like, we are like the definition of like order, right? That all others must like conform to our order, or something like that. So to look at him and be like, there is something I see in you that has value to me. What would that be? And it's like, I don't know. Stuff like that just... It's like, that's character writing, friend. It's like, yes! It's like, give me that stuff. I am 110% all about it. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. What am I doing here? Who am I? Where am I? Yeah, there's a fun Cox and Crendor bit. Where am I? Ugh. Okay. Yeah. His hair is going to remain relatively unchanged. I'm keeping the 3 here, the 3 strands here, 2 here, and then, I don't know, just the whatever off to the side. So we're just going to keep that shape, I think. I think I'll put it back to 30. Put it back to 30 and I'll actually put it on this layer here. Let me do that. Because I just want to nail down the general shape first. And then we'll put down like and then we'll maybe like that. Yeah, kind of like this. Yeah, and we can just sort of dink around with the shape here a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Yeah, we'll do some edits to it, and we'll see how we'll shape it out to be. I'd also like to note that while I think Nova would win most combat situations, being a trained warrior, she would be without her usual invasion gear, being suddenly in Sparse's world. Yeah, and that's kind of how I imagine it too. Is this is just like an instantaneous thing, and she's like, I'm here. Don't know how it happened, but okay, whatever, man. I'll roll with it. You know, and kind of being like that. Though I guess I don't know, cause see, this whole thing, I'm just spitballing here at this point. I'm not really saying that this is what would actually happen. Because it's like, I also think that if she were skilled enough, it's like she would be in a new place and be like, why am I here? Who's like, obviously it's like, maybe she knew why she was sent to a different world or all this other stuff. Again, all of this stuff is just hypothetical, like, hypothetical stuff. But there's also, you know, there's also certain character aspects where it's like, obviously that she would, you know, approach it differently and all that other stuff. That's why it would just be a silly little fan thing that I think would be really fun. It's like, it's all just, you know, it's all fake, so it's just for fun. Another little Drawfee thing for you. It's all fake, but it's just for fun. Can you tell I'm a Drawfee fan? I like Drawfee. Plot explanation could be chaos energy shenanigans meddling with a being of order. Yeah. That could work too. There's like any multitudinous reasons why a person would hop from one world to another. But there's also just the whole idea of like, oh yeah, what would they actually do if they were in this situation? It's like, obviously she's very trained. It's like, would she be like, I'm here now, fuck it, I'll just take this place too, who cares? Or would they actually be like, no, I need to take a step back, I need to find my way back, you know, because it's like, while I look at Nova as like this force that's like, uncontrollable and chaotic. The way that, you know, you describe her, it's like, oh, she's more of like, you know, she's more strategic. She actually has like less of like that must consume energy. She's actually very intelligent. She can craft strategies and all this stuff. It's, you know, this is all it's all part of her thing. So the angle that I was always approaching it from was like, oh, she's just like, she's not mindless, but it's like she's like a force that can't be comprehended. But, you know, it's like, oh, she's just like a person. So it's like she still, you know, tries to think with her, tries to put her own well-being as a priority over like her mission, so to speak. You know, so it's like, oh, that would obviously change how their initial interaction would go. Because the whole comic starts, because the whole thing that started this was this idea of, it's like Sparks and Ami and a fourth. There's like Sparks, Ami, and Maya the tiger, who I haven't drawn yet. And it's like Maya is like holding on to Ami because she's like got like attacked or something like that from probably Nova. And then there's like a fourth character that I have who's like was like a Phoenix type of character who like is part of a tribe of like Phoenix people, birds, whatever. I haven't really put 100%, you know, again, all up in the air. Anyways, it's the four of them, and it's like raining, there's like storm, there's lightning and all that stuff. And they're like, what is that? What could harness such energy? Whatever that thing is, whatever they are, I only know one thing for sure. And it's the Phoenix lady talking, because she like knows energy and all this other stuff. I only know one thing. And then it's like, bam, splash page, zoom in, Nova like doing like the infinite thing where she's just floating with her hands out, being like, that thing is not of this world. And then it's like lightning, highlights, and it's like that. That's like the introduction. So it's like, it can be inferred that she attacked Ami or something like that, or they're trying to protect the world, something like that. That's kind of how it starts. And then there's like, it's like page missing or pages missing, and then it's like the last confrontation where it's like, you need to, you know, just keep her distracted. And he's like, I'm doing my best, I'm trying to survive here. And then, you know, big final attack, you're a thorn in my side for long enough, and then gone. And then, you know, he's like, oh, and that's the end. That's basically what it was. And then my little like Sonic Shorts miscellaneous whatever, where he's just like, hey, what you doing? Oh, causing order and eliminating people. That's nice. So that's just kind of how my approach was going to be. You know, now that I look at this, because see, that's the other thing is with this little sketch thing, I made his hair. Cause the thing about Universe Traveler Prime here, good old Chris, look at him. His hair actually went from this originally to this because I kind of wanted his hair to be a bit longer. Because I wanted his hair to look a bit more unkempt, and then he would go through like a training arc and then get his hair cut back. So I think I went with this longer hair to kind of show that he was a bit, to also kind of hint towards his inexperience, because he's like, oh, he doesn't really have a style yet. He's still a little rough around the edges. Unlike Ryarda, who her hair is a bit more spiky. It's more kept, I should say, and also to kind of show that they're opposites in a way. His hair points down, her hair points up. I'm a genius. I made this design when I was like 18. I'm sorry, but that's kind of how I went with it. But I don't know. I really like the idea of giving him the spiky hair, though. I think this will be like one of his variants, because there's because of the variants, there's Prime, there's this one, there's V, it's like on the screen now. There is the other version of Prime. We'll just say Bad Prime, because multiverse stuff and dimension hopping, you're bound to meet an evil version of yourself. I mean, come on. It's like, what I could not do that. So there's that one. It kind of looks like this, except I think it's this, but just a smidge different. He also has like a scar across his eye, because you either give him a beard or you give him a scar. It's like Star Trek rules, or I don't know, what's something else. There's like, it's either like bad future stuff or evil interpretations of characters have a scar. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head where they do that, but beards is a Star Trek thing. So that's Bad Prime. Then there's V, and then there's who I call the OG, which is like the original version of the Universe Traveler that I made when I was like 15. I still keep him around. He's still a character. He's just, because I was like, I have this old character rattling around. I could just not do anything with him, or I just turn him into another version of this one character. It's like genius. Because that's the great thing about multiverse stuff, that it's like everybody does that. Oh, I drew that. Oh man, I drew this all on the wrong layer. Whoops. Oh well, this wasn't gonna stay anyway. Because I mean, it's an obvious thing to do stuff where it's like, oh, multiverse stuff. You meet variants of yourself and all other stuff. But I kind of wanted to do the thing that Spider-Verse did, where it's like, even though the Spider-Verse is like, these are all spider people, but it's not just Peter Parker a bajillion times. You've got Gwen Stacy, you've got Miles Morales, you got Miguel O'Hara, you have Jessica Drew. They're all Spider-Man. That's the thing that ties them together, but they're all different people living in different worlds. So, you're adjusted to the idea that even though all these spider people are like, they're all Spider-Man and Spider-Women and Spideys, essentially. When you hit the end of that, of Across the Spider-Verse, and it hits you with that like twist, where it's like, oh right, this is another thing that you do in multiverse stories. I forgot about that. And it's like, it's not even a new idea, but they use it and they hit you with it in such a like a bam, this is what's happening. It's like, oh yeah. And then it like hits you like a fresh new idea in a new way. And it's like, story art is good, man. It's so good. And I love when people do clever stuff with it. So it's like, that's kind of how I handle the Universe Traveler stuff. It's like all these worlds aren't the same world just again, but it's like it's like Kingdom Hearts, where it's like, these are all different worlds with different ideas and different things, but there is a chance you could meet somebody else out there who looks and sounds exactly like you. Or it's like just you, but as like an anteater or something. And they go by different names and all that other stuff. Did I ever talk about the rules of the Universe Traveler stuff? I don't know if I actually I don't know if I ever like actually sat down and talked about it, but there's like the whole rule set thing. I said I wanted to do it, and I think I'll have to do that at some point. But anyways, it kind of makes me sad I never saved those streams. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, idea for why she attacked Ami would easily tie into with the selfie with Sparks and Ami just getting annoyed at it. Yeah, but see that I don't see, because I don't know. Now I'm thinking about the logistics of that story. Oh yeah, because if she would get annoyed by it, yeah. Because now I feel like I'm thinking too hard about this now. It's like, nah, man, don't make me think too hard about this. I don't know if I'll actually make it. Yeah, because I don't know if their first instinct when seeing Nova would be like super buddy with them. It would, because I feel like their approach would be kind of hesitance, because at the point where I feel like Nova would show up within the lore of the Sparks world, is it would be they've seen like their fair share of shit, so they would look at it and go, what is this? They have an air of menace, and we can see like the JoJo characters floating around. That's like the character from Menacing, you know, where it's like floating around. It's like we can see the characters. It's like, this isn't good. Should we do something about this? So, but yeah, I think there would be a bit where she would try to like try to contain Nova, and then like, I don't know, she'd be like attacked or something like that, or like she would be rendered in a state that she could not fight anymore, something like that. Sit them all in a room together and see what happens. Yeah, yeah. That's just how we all start. It's like you just put them in a room full of chairs, have them sit in a circle, and then yeah, just see what happens. Who throws the first punch? Yeah, who's gonna say what to piss the other person off first? But I don't know. That was all. That was basically it. It's just a fun little thing. Because I don't know. Because I've talked about it before, where it's like, because I saw Nova that first time, I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Is this what it's like to have brain rot for friends OCs? You know, it's funny because it's not the first time I've ever had that happen to me, but it's the first time in a while where I've ever been like, oh, I've contracted brain rot, it's terminal. And you know, I like play around with like the interactions like a stim toy, just fucking jiggling it and turning it around, just being like, oh, what sort of fun things can we do with this? So yeah, it's just a fun little thing that I just do every now and then. Whenever I get like really inspired by someone's character design. I think the last time, I can't remember the last time, but the characters that I've done this with though, where I do that, was friend of the show, friend of the pod, has been Paige. Her character Mist / Artemis? No. Yeah? She has like two different versions of the same character, and she named them two different things. I loved the idea of that character when I first found her work. And I love the idea of like, oh, it's like this mystical character that like looks after like magic artifacts and stuff like that. It's like, oh man, that's so cool. And it's like paired with like just a streetwise talking, like a streetwise, no, not necessarily like a smartass, but I always like the idea of like normal dude paired with magical person. It's always such a fun dynamic, especially if like, and then if they fall in love and then they like kiss, which you know, it's like, I'm a hopeless romantic, so romance is always like a, you get me to like something, you put like romance in it, and if it's well written, then it's like, beautiful, I love this. But I really liked her character and her ideas, and I remember being hyper fixated on them for so long, and I still kind of am. She did an experiment semi recently. This was like a year or two ago, where she made her a human, and I'm like, oh fuck, I love this human design. It's so good. And she's since abandoned the human design, but I'm still like, man, this design is still like really fire though. I would love to like make fan art of it, because I still love it. I imagine anything can happen in most scenarios, because that's a good chance Nova is confused and isn't thinking as clearly and strategically. Yeah, and that's always the fun thing about doing these little hypotheticals, is it's like, oh, it's not like quote unquote canon to anything. It's like you're just making this up on the spot. It's just a for fun thing, because you know, I had this. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up because this is really important. But there was a Tumblr blog. It's run by the gal who created Super Lesbian Animal RPG. It's thanks, Ken Penders. She did a review of Sonic Prime. And the final paragraph she had talking about the show's canonicity with the video games it kind of stuck out to me, because talking about like these little scenarios and stuff like that, it makes me, I don't know, it just reminded me of talking about canon and how characters interact and all that stuff. Yeah, because she goes into like, the real core with Prime isn't that things don't line up 100% with our current understanding of the canon, or that Sonic's characterization means that can't be the real Sonic or anything like that. The problem, as I've been saying this whole time, is that the story is bad. Yeah, none of the discrepancies would really matter if the story is better. It's just nitpicks, yada yada yada. And then there's this final paragraph that I really like, is canon in quotes is not real, and it sure as hell isn't worth sending people death threats over. It's a storytelling tool. Real human beings decide what does and doesn't go into that canon, or how much they do or don't want to draw on past stories. When creating a new story, serving that canon is secondary to creating a story where the emotional truth resonates with the audience. And then Sonic Prime failed to do that. That is its true failing. And I don't know. And that to me is like really true. Because at the end of the day, it's like these characters in these stories are like just lines on a paper, right? Or lines on a screen or something like that. They're canon is like a tool, and it's used to like maintain a story's through lines so that, you know, all the information is cohesive. But, you know, I think we're kind of in a position as creators on the internet where we don't have to abide by canon if we don't want to. And so there are people out there who kind of treat their OCs as kind of like, it's like action figures, right? You know, you bang them together, you make them kiss, you do whatever you want with them. They're very flexible. They're meant to be that way. And there isn't like, it's not like a string with a beginning and an end, right? It's kind of like they're just this person that have these events that happen nebulously that inform their character and who they are. And then there's like people like me who have like, I created this character and this is like their story. They have these concrete events in their lives that inform them of who they are, and there isn't really anything outside of that. So it's like when you get, so it's like, but then when you have these moments where it's like, oh, I just want to do fun things with him, then it's like, yeah, just fucking do it. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to abide by this one thing. It's like, there is no stone. It's like, just fucking do it. So it's like, just be cool, be wild, be groovy, just have fun. And that's kind of the mantra that I'm like trying to abide by. Is it's like, just fucking have fun with it. It's like, you don't have to cling to a canon. It's like, just have fun. Yeah. But anyways, that was like a long-winded explanation to be like, yeah, they'd be clearly confused as clearly, yeah, and they aren't thinking clearly and strategically. Yeah, it should be as being just caught off guard. It's like, yeah. I don't know. That was just a huge aside to talk about that. It didn't really pertain to it or anything, but anyways, yeah, it's true that they might not be thinking clearly and all that stuff. But yeah, I just think it'd be really great if our characters interacted. And at the end of the day, that's really all you can ask for, really. It's just be like, hey, you're cool. Our characters should interact. And be like, yeah, all right. This is the highest honor I can bestow. And it's a little badge that says, our characters interacting. That's basically it, right? It could be summed up as that. I think. Whew, okay. Yeah, I like hearing about it. I'm glad. Because honestly, it's like, to be real, this kind of stuff is like what I live for. I love the idea of just hanging out with somebody and being like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this? And then just going on like a giant tangent of being like, you know, it's like our characters did this, and then it's like, oh, well, what if they did that? And it's like, oh, then they had to face this. Would they be friends? Would they turn on each other? It's like, what sort of stuff would they do? It's like, I don't know. That stuff I still have a burning passion for. And it's nice to have a reminder of that every once in a while. It's like, hey, you're not an animal in an enclosure that just goes to work and then goes to bed and then like has a meal every now and then. It's like, you have the ability to give yourself like, what would you call that? Fuck. Words are failing me. Enrichment. You're able to give yourself enrichment in your quote-unquote enclosure. It's like, just, yeah, don't be like an animal trapped in a cage. Just have fun with it. Have fun with life. It's like, go to town, have fun. Man, I'm loving how this is turning out. I'm revisiting my child. It's so nice to see them again. And I think I might just leave this. Was I drawing it on the copy? I think I might just cut and paste it off of this layer and then put it up here on the hair layer. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that. I can do that. It's my art. I can do what I want. We're just going to do this. We're going to merge these two layers. I want it to be layer 3, though. Right. Bro, why are you revving your engine? It's snowy out. I do think his nose is a little too pointy, though. I'm going to round it out just a smidge. We'll just start... take the chunk out and then just kind of like that. I do want to do there we go. I just can't seem to get the nose right. Oh no, it's horrible. It's so terrible. What? They just can't get my nose right. considered making a little aftermath drawing to that Nova and Sparks art, which was basically Sunbeam Apocalypse. I couldn't get the posing right, though. Oh, that's a bummer. I know that feeling, though. There have been many instances where I'm like, I would like to make some fan art for this person, and then it's like, huh. I'm having a bad art time right now. Yeah, and it's a painful feeling. Hey. You know what? We just do that. There we go. I didn't have to I didn't have to redraw anything. Ugh. Oh well. It's all about art. Just get messy, have fun, and experiment. Alright, I think... Okay, that's the face. This is hair. I'm going to throw the outfit on him, and then I think I might call it, because I got a thing later I need to get to. Also, I need food. So we'll throw the clothes on him, and then we'll call it. I was originally going to try and draw all 5 characters, try to get the roughs in for all of them. That didn't happen. Oops. Oh well. Something to work on off stream, I guess. Clothing. Right. I know what I'm doing. We have to give him fashionable clothes. That's the hair layer. Don't put the thing on the freaking... Come on. Come on, bro. Can't be doing this shit. Also, just curious, did you notice there a very slight difference in the structure of Nova's home for that so-called animatic? It wasn't animatic. Shut up. Was there? What? Maybe? Oh my god. Hold on. Nope. Now I gotta... Hang on. I gotta... I'll fault my phone here. Because I think I did. And I just didn't. Additionally, I think this art is going very well. Thank you. I'm glad. But I think I did, now that I think on it. I think, was it? Was it the ears? Or I say ears, but it's like, is it the points on the top? Or was it the face? Because I remember looking at it, because I think that's the part that stood out to me, was the points on the helmet and then the beak. Like the part that stood out to me. Also the fact that the helmet was broken. But I felt like that was kind of obvious because it was like, oh, they were fighting. So it's like, it's like, oh, obviously the helmet's broken. Did I get it right? It was just a small difference, nothing big or revealing. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I assumed it was just a different shape because it was just a smidge inconsistent, but I thought it looked generally the same. Maybe a little different. That bit at the end still kills me. The explosion shattering the glass. I told you to die. Ugh. Yeah, it still gets me. No, friend of mine, friend of the show, friend of the pod, I think. Abigail Starling, Berry Montblanc. She goes by 2 names. She has 2 identities. Posted that she worked on a new Sonic comic cover. And the solicitations went up today, so she showed off the art today, and it's really cute. Yeah, the answer was in fact the broken helm. Okay, the points of the beak were simply rushing art inconsistency. Okay, yeah, because I remember seeing the broken helm, and I was like, oh yeah, they've been fighting for a little bit. Yeah, okay, I get it. It's like, no, that makes sense. Because I mean, they're having a heated discussion about corned beef. It's like, oh yeah, I get it. You guys, it came down to fisticuffs. That's cool. I'm not going to debate you on anything here. It's like, you guys are having a discussion. I understand. But will that end up being part of it? Or is that just a thing for that animation? It's still a cool look, though. The fiery eye, though. I still think it's pretty neat. And if like Supernova like blew the glass out of the helm, and then it's like there's fire, like solar flare coming out of the eyes. Oh, I think that'd be pretty cool. It's just me though. I think it'd be pretty neat. Okay. I gotta enough talk. I have to focus. Would his collar be that high? Humdy hum da hum. The broken helmet is also my explanation to why she was so angry. Oh yeah, she had not planned for that. It'll happen around endgame for her story. Okay. I see. I guess if... Oh, because now that I'm thinking... So it's like... Would her society see that armor as like a sign of pride or something? Like... Do they treat it with like reverence or something like that? To have it like be broken or something like that is like actually really bad, and it's like you scratched my armor, time to die, or having it broken, or it's like, oh no, I had a thread and I lost it. Fuck me, god damn it. If it was like a thing where I could perfectly explain how I was feeling about this, where it's like having like having your armor be damaged in battle is like a sign of weakness or something like that. And then, you know, like have it, if it is broken, then it's like you've like failed in some way. Kind of like that. I don't know. Also, congrats to Barry. Yeah. I think she drew this comic cover, I think, a few months ago. It was definitely last year at some point. But yeah, the fact that she continues to work with the Sonic stuff it's awesome. She deserves all the praise that she gets, because her work is incredible. If you go onto her Twitter and stuff, Abigail Starling, look it up. You can see some of her stuff, and it's good stuff. She does great work. And you can see the cover that she worked on as well, because it's making its rounds right now, because she's been shilling it. Because because the solicitations went out, the writer has been talking about like the plot details and stuff. Do I really? No, I do. Yeah, I want the cuff to be pointed up like this. That's another thing I need to figure out, is how loose is this jacket going to be? 'Cause in the original drawing, I wouldn't say it's tight, but it's definitely looser than... It's definitely a lot looser. The armor's less for protecting them and more of a sign of status. Okay. That's kind of what I figured, yeah. Not much you can do to sun energy. If it's broken, it does signify failure. Got it. Okay. Yeah, because that's kind of what I figured. Because, yeah, again, it's like, I love character stuff like that. It's like, yeah, and then it's like, oh, she gets really mad because it's like, oh, she kind of failed. It's like, how dare you scuff my armor? Or it's like, how dare I get my armor scuffed? It's like, I should have been more careful, or I should have seen this coming, or something like that. And then she could have like a moment where she's like, I tried so hard to be perfect, and then, it's like, we are the bringers of order. We are the bringers of order. We demand nothing but perfection. And it's like, you don't have to be perfect, because that's what life is. There's chaos. Life is chaotic, and there's no way you can control everything. And life is beautiful that way. And then it's like they have that moment where it's like, I suppose it is, because like maybe they're like exploring the world, and they're like touched by the beauty of the world or something like that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. It's like they're touched by the beauty of the world, and then it's like, no, but I have to. I'm having a crisis of faith. I don't know. It's just again, further insight into how my brain works when I see an idea or something like that, and it just picks up the ball and then just starts running with it. And it's like, I can't help myself. It just goes. It's like that adopt that I pointed out, or that I drew. It's like, I saw that design and was like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if the character was this or that? But yeah, I don't know if I'll. Though speaking of that, speaking of the adopt though, I don't think I'll end up actually doing too much with it. I don't know, because I feel like the ramifications of like actually, because I'd feel really bad if it was an actual adopt that somebody actually designed and made, because there are people who I follow that actually do that kind of stuff, and I greatly respect them for it. I actually have a lot of the characters that I'm going to be doing in this project are part of that are in this lineup are from adopts. and other character designers. And I wholly respect them. And I appreciate the work that they do. It's important stuff. And that, they actually, put time to learn a skill and make things with it. So, that's another thing. So it's like, I always get really dodgy whenever I look at adopts, and I'm like, ooh, I'd really love to put that idea onto a character. But then it's like, no, but it's like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And if somebody actually adopts this character, then it's like, I don't know, then it'll cause problems. So if I ever cherry pick stuff from adopts, it's usually very basic and vague stuff. So it's where it's oh, I saw a character that's a bee, that's a bee adopt that I thought was really cute. It's like, I'll just make a bee OC. Just blank page, blank slate, no reference, picture what a bee character would look like and just go and do that. But it's I don't know, and it kind of extends to the AI stuff too, because even though they say they alter it a little bit, characters are as an example with that one I posted, the arm is in the wrong spot, the fingers are all wrong, the jewelry and stuff is incorrect. It's not even incorrect, it changes from pose to pose to pose, so it's not even consistent. So it's I still feel obligated to give that kind of respect to it, because it's this isn't even my thing yet, but it's I don't want to do it, I don't want to steal anything from it, but so it's it's an AI adopt, it's what really cares, it's all stolen anyways. It's a lot of mental gymnastics, so it's I don't think I'll do anything with that adopt specifically, but if I did, I would probably create my own character and then just crib a lot from it. But then at the end of the day, it's well, then wouldn't it just be better to just, I don't know, because it's I don't want to sacrifice my stance, my morals on this just to fucking have a character design. It's it's just one of those things where it's I want my brain to just fucking let it go already, so that way I can just move on. They'd probably escape from the planet. Yeah, the Sonic team would assume for reinforcements, but she'd just sit on what's left of the moon and think for a while. Yeah, sit on the Death Egg laser. No, not the Death Egg. The Arc laser crater, and just being man, I got a lot to think about. And doing the Gandhi meme that went around on Twitter, where it's oh, that's a lot. I'm gonna need to think about this. And just hands behind back, staring out window, except staring out into the vastness of space. Yeah. Or yeah. And then it's but then there's a really profound moment where she lands on the moon, she's broken, she's defeated, and then she just has that moment where she just turns around, plops down on a rock, sighs, and then just looks up at the earth and just stares at it, and just has that moment where it's and it's it's all silent. There's no she doesn't say anything, she just looks at the earth. It's oh, it's so good. Anyways, you did make a really pretty piece from Revolting AI. Yeah, I wasn't even really trying. I was just trying to work out my fifis. Just trying to work this stuff out, and I just wanted to make something on it, and I wasn't really even trying, because if I did actually adopt that character, I would nail down that design, and I'd cherry pick the best from the examples it had, and I would nail down their design permanently, and I would just be this is how they look, this is what it is. But that I was just kind of gold shoulder pads here, necklace thingy here, earrings here, headpiece thing here with the beads. There's also a bead. There's beads, and then there's also a bow on the back, which makes for a really interesting silhouette, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know how much of that I would change, but I still the whole gist of that character design that really got me, and I thought about this, and the thing that got me was the juxtaposition of a skin-tight suit with futuristic looking shoes, but with, is it accoutrement or something like that, or the jewelry and the accents and stuff that look very traditional like traditional jewelry pieces. So it has like this neat juxtaposition of like the modern and the, I don't want to say futuristic, but like the modern and the like the present with the traditional, with like traditional roots, and I can't find the of like the past, you know. It's like that combination is like, I love that. Something about people's identities with their communities and their civilizations persisting into the modern day and being preserved through those means and being celebrated with the means of technology that wasn't present in the past is very interesting to me. I love that idea and that concept, and that Adopt had a lot of that in it. At least I think it does, where there's like, this is traditional jewelry, these headpieces, the gold armaments all have that aspect to it, but she's wearing it over a suit that would be like a battle suit with like really fancy shoes and with patterns on it and all that. It's like, that's interesting to me. And it sucks that it was created from a fucking computer that scraped images off the internet from people who did not even consent to have that stuff like ripped from them. I wouldn't say ripped from them, but it's like copied from them essentially. It's like, it's so annoying that it's like, I get this really cool idea, but it's from that. And it bugs me. It bugs me so much. And it's like, I just want to leave it alone so that way I can forget and just move on. Because again, it's like I actually have the page open up right now. The thing itself, and the thing about the AI adopts that I think also get them, it's still open. The thing about the adopt though is that it's about all of them really is they make them really cheap too. They're like $5, and the fact that they just, like, for lack of a better term, they just shit these out and then make them really cheap is probably how they get most people. And it's like, yeah, for like a base idea like this, it's like, God, that's so tempting. It's like, oh, but I'm like, I know better, and I feel it's like I don't want to, but at the same time, it's so hard not to just be like, whatever. It's like $5. It's like, I don't know. It's like taking a lollipop or something like that. It's like, you shouldn't do it. It's still bad, but it's like the infraction just feels minor enough that it's not going to matter in the long run. But it's like, I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it. So, yeah, it's aggravating. I don't know. I feel like I just want to craft an OC from it and then just call it good. Yeah. In the notes here, it's like, all characters here are AI generated and edited manually for cleanup through Clip Studio Paint. By purchasing, you accept this fact. And it's so funny because they're like, it's cleaned up. How? It's the character, again, arm isn't connected to the shoulder. The fingers there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 fingers on this one hand. The designs aren't consistent. And a lot of them say that too, which is funny. Yeah, I do not do refunds. Yeah. You can use this adopt for anything. And once you purchase, we can delete this listing if you want. Yeah, you can also request a transparent PNG version for $2. Also, and this is something that they also do. If you look in some of these AI galleries, you can look at all of their old adopts. But it's a locked gallery. And they ask for $1,000 to look at closed adopts. What in the fuck are they? What are you on to fucking be like, hey, you have to pay me $1,000 in like USD to look at these old designs I made? It's like, there are people that I follow who again, their whole thing is adopts and designs. They keep their old stuff open and viewable to the public, And the person that I get a lot of design adopts from because I really like their work, the Zoo adopts, which is on Fur Affinity and I think DeviantArt as well. They keep all that open, and they're like, hey, if there's an adopt that I did that is like this, you can request a custom for like this for like X amount of dollars, and you can just have a custom based off of this old one that I made. It's like, yeah, that's good actually, because the zoo she uses like pre-drawn bases for some of them. So it's like some of them are like, you know, I made this using this base, and it's like, could I just get this but like this? And then she's like, yeah, sure, she'll do it. And it's like, yeah, that's smart, and that's why she gets a lot of attention. That's why I like to support her, because, you know, as a character designer, she makes a lot of neat stuff. But you know, it's stupid and annoying and dumb. Don't want to. Anyways, I'm done working myself into a tizzy, and I need to freaking finish this because I got a thing. You'll go to hell forever and ever. Sincerely, Lucifer. Oh dang! Yeah. Well, I mean, if the devil says so, I mean, I guess I can't do it now. Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, shit. The devil says no, then probably shouldn't then. It's just good business practice keeping them. Exactly. Yeah, because to me it's like, it's also a good example of their work. Because her account, she has two separate accounts. One is her actual art account and the other is the adopt account. She has them both open. So having them both open is a good example of like her work as an artist. Because I also think she does a lot of changes to the bases themselves to really warrant them being like their own characters and stuff. So to be like, oh yeah, this, you know, this warrants to be seen, because it's also just fun to look through the galleries, or to look through her gallery and just look at the stuff she's made, because it's good work. And it's like, I'd be proud of that stuff. If I ever did that stuff, I would keep it up. It's like, hell yeah, be proud of that stuff. Be proud. You worked hard on it. It's like, fuck yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to change the pants a little bit though, because I'm gonna be drawing the shoes in. The shoes are gonna be a different shape than the feet. Although speaking of art, the way I drew the pants here on this old design, and kind of what I'm mimicking here, I cribbed this off of Pokemon. I love the way that they draw the shapes of pants on the Pokemon characters. It's got a really nice shape. I really like it, the way that they draw the wrinkles on there. Obviously the rendering style is different because I don't use like a more painted version, but the general shape and the outlines is that's something I kind of that's something I take from it, because I like the Pokemon art style. It's really nice. I want it tighter up here on the, there we go. Okay, I think the front pant leg is a little too, it's too far out. I'm gonna have to, I want it to caress the leg a little bit more. Tight boys take their time. There we go. Like that. There we go. But yeah. And maybe that'll be a stream that I'll do later. Is I wanted, because that was one of the ideas for the stream I was going to do this week. If I was just going to do one, is I was going to take the AI adopts that I found on DeviantArt, and I was going to do a stream where I just drew busts of them. But I wasn't super feeling it, so that's why I just put up the redraw of that one, because I really liked it, and I was just like, yeah, I can just do this on my own time and then just post it. But I don't know, maybe I'll reconsider that idea, and we'll have to do that in the future. Also forgot to mention, you have a non-canon rival now. Oh, that's right, in the Reality Traverser. Yeah, my sworn nemesis. Or are we talking about something else? Because that's what I was talking about, right? But also, yes, Traverser. Definitely not Space Virus me. Now the question is this a rivalry akin to, is this like a serious rivalry, non-canon rivalry? Or is this like, I'll get you next time, Universe Traveler, next time? And you're like stroking a cat all nefariously? Or is it like, for realsies? Obviously the whole thing is just a gag, but I mean, hey, it's like, it's gonna make up like rival characters. It's like, yeah, we'll just have some fun with it. What's their dynamic? What's their favorite food? Children. But I was also gonna mention, this idea wasn't strictly going to be relegated to original characters. I was also going to do this I was also going to do this with my fan characters as well. And the first batch was going to be the Spider Stone and stuff. Because not only am I doing this to draw these characters, to like redo the references and stuff, I was also making this as a size guide. So that way I can keep track of their sizes relative to each other, which is why I'm keeping them all in one big file. Because I want to redraw my Spider Stone and stuff and keep their sizes consistent, because you have the Spideys who are like, you know, average size, and you have the Lizard who's really big, and then Doc Ock who's like kind of short, and you know, other characters. And I want to put some of them in one big file so that way I can keep them consistent. Also, I want to have their unmasked reference with their suit reference, so that way I can you know, I can have them all together, so that way if people need them, I can just be like, whoa, flash it like a business card and be like, here's the file. There you go. Yes, Traverser. Definitely not Space Virus. Yeah. I have nothing in common with this Reality Traverser. I imagine... Okay, well... I have this... So now, the way that I'm thinking about it now is it's like the Noid. I don't know. I keep getting ideas and then they blink on and off like Christmas lights, just boop, and then it's gone. But for some reason I think the Noid, like the Reality Traverser, is like, the Reality Traverser is like that fake Crash that was inspired by that Japanese plush toy with the really thick eyebrows and the fucked up teeth, or like the Noid, where it's like just this wacky off-brand universe traveler who's just causing mayhem and chaos and just doing whatever, and it's just like a mad chaos agent that's just like, that at worst can really cause problems, but you know, usually is just like an agent of chaos that just annoys people and causes problems, like normal general problems, much to his annoyance. Traverser, whoever they may be, is actively fucking up the multiverse. Ah, damn them. Making this not fun for everybody. It's Always Sunny, the picture of the reality traverser. Getting real sick of this guy. I think I think also the other reason why why I don't feel so super exhausted about this stream is because I decided to do art instead of trying to play a game. Which kind of changes the vibe a little bit when I stream art versus streaming art versus streaming games. It kind of changes the vibe a little bit. Because to me, the art streams feel a bit more... oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. Actually, no, we can fix this. We just do a little bit of that. There we go. I think. No? Oh, wait. Hold on. No, I can fix this. Just do this. There we go. And then this crease comes up here like that. And then we've got this here, and then this one comes up and around like this. Yeah, and the pants do that. That's why. It's too narrow. That's why. Because I feel like when I play a game, I don't know, and I feel like this will feel kind of alienating to whoever else finds this. I know that if I'm like, I'm drawing OCs, not a whole lot of people are kind of interested in that, like right out of the gate, unless, you know, you're like me, you know, where it's like, oh, people are drawing OCs, oh, I'm into that shit. So it's like, it doesn't have a big pull, so I don't really feel obligated to be like, oh, I need to be super prescient or like super approachable or whatever in case new people show up. It's just like, no, I'm just being me. I'm just being me, doing me things. It's like, what of it? I'm just here to have fun, have a good time. So there's less pressure on me to try and, you know, be like the streamer of all time. Instead, it's just, oh, I'm just, you know, here to have a good time, just hang out with some buddies or buddy. It's all good. They're like a dark, twisted, fucked up version of someone. Also, they have the traditional face scar up to 11. Yeah, it looks like they look like Cole McGrath if you play him as an evil character in 2, where he's got like the face scar that goes like up his forehead and down his face. Or like, I don't know, Amon from Korra, something like that. All right, I'm liking this. Moss, this please, and whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of liking how this is turning out. I think I'll put the quote unquote tread or the sole of his shoes on. I'll fit that on later or not. I haven't really been getting in the habit of doing that nowadays when it comes to characters' shoes. I don't tend to put the sole or like the bottom on anymore. I don't really do that anymore. Mainly because it's just like an extra step that I have to do. But, you know. There we go. Man, this is actually shaping up to be really cool. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Man, I'm glad I decided to revisit this. I'm actually liking how this is going to turn out. I always enjoy chilling with your art streams. I get to draw in Lord Dump. This time I discovered talent that I will gatekeep from anyone else. Yeah. You have talent scouted me, and nobody shall have this ever. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd be relatively okay with that. No, you should catch me on a better day when I'm not sniffly and snuffling and dealing with like the really dry air. Because on a good day, oh boy, I could really bust out the pipes and you can hear me, I don't know, sing or whatever and voice act. I have to click a thing. I'm trying to find it. No, that's not it. You're gonna make me use the search bar? Ew. Okay, there we go. Thing has been found and clicked. There we go. Oh, believe me, the face scar is massive. Closer to Zuko, but scar origin different. Yeah, he probably like, I don't know. It'd be really funny if it was like his scar is really bad, but it's like because he he didn't look out for like the slippery when wet sign and then like slipped and hurt himself. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty funny. You wanna know how I got these scars? Being negligent of my surroundings. Oh, my music. Oh, the music's over. That's okay. We're gonna wrap up soon anyway, because I gotta catch a thing here. But I think we've pretty much got it. At least for a start. I want to at least get these sketches to like this state about around here. And then I want to do them all like I'll finish this and then I'll do Dusty next and then I'll do Ryerda and then Tenchi and then Flash and I will get them all sketched up to like this level and then get them all together, then render them all at once and basically do like the sketch pass and then the color pass and then all that stuff because these are all going to be flats kind of like this and I want to get them all done like that and then just do them kind of in waves and then I will do them by groups. So once I finish this lineup I'll pick another character. I'll pick like Dusty and then I'll do Dusty's cast of characters, which that's like Darcy, his mom, Michelle, Bolt, Aura, and all those other characters, and then I'll go from there. But for what I set out to do, I think I did okay. So I think we'll be calling it here. I think. Let me just put the glove lines here. He has fingerless gloves, and it's got a little square open on the back because fingerless gloves are cool. Yeah, and I think this is where I'll leave it for now. I'll probably work on this off stream as well because I'm just so hyped for this little project. As silly as that is, it could be, but with more alien poison involved. Yeah. Or hang on, they have evil alien poison powers. Like Venom, but actually venomous and objectively less cool. It's like, speaking of Venom, it's like Max, the guy, Jamie Foxx's character from Spider-Man, Electro. His name is Max, right? I think it's Max. Basically falling into a vat of eels and then being like, how'd you get sand powers? He's like, fell into a particle accelerator. He's like, Be careful where you fall. Anyways, yeah, I think this is where I'll leave it for now, stream wise. I will be working on this later, but I have a thing. Anyways, wrapping up here. What else we got? Stream tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow in addition to today. Tomorrow's stream probably will be a short stream, or maybe it'll be as long as this. I have no idea. I was only going to stream for an hour today, and I went for 3 hours. So the only thing I know is that I don't like plan for any of this because anything can happen. Tomorrow's stream will be a game stream and possibly more art, depending on how it shakes out. Depending on what I want to do. And it might be shorter again. Might be that. Sneak has a little bit of a hint. We might be revisiting a game that I already played. We might get that started tomorrow, so look forward to that. That is the plan. I might start at noon at 12 p.m. PST or PDT. I don't know what we're sticking with now. It doesn't really matter. I might start at noon or 1 or 2. It really just depends. But that is the range. It's the same time as usual. Anything else? Shout out real quick. No raid tonight. But I do want to shout out my other friend, Mimi Pion, Mimiipyon, another Sonic fan artist. Today, or it was like a couple days ago, was her birthday. She's doing a celebration birthday stream today, starting at 5 p.m. local time. So there's that. We can, wish her happy birthday. But yeah, that's all that news. All the news regarding to that. I'm going to be catching that stream. So, but I'm also going to be getting food in the process, so I'll be away from that. Anyways, yeah, so stream tomorrow, her birthday, yeah, stream tomorrow, might be game, also art, might be just game, who knows. His birthday, okay, yeah, and that's pretty much it. So, it's been fun, Mr. Traveler. Be careful though, I've heard a villain around somewhere. No idea who it could be. Yeah, this freaking this jerk off. It keeps messing with me. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe somebody will we'll finally get his identity nailed down and we'll find out what he looks like. Who knows? I might figure it out or somebody else might. I don't know. But anyways, thank you for joining me. This was a really fun time. Glad I actually sat down and streamed. I love doing these art streams. So fun. Yeah. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to tomorrow and hanging out with y'all. So yeah. So take care. You have a good rest of your evening, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. And yeah. Not really a lot of seeing in the multiverse because it's only going to be a day, but you get it. You get it. So, take care, and I will see you later. Bye-bye. You see you in the galaxy. I'll see you. Bye-bye.